A strange incident happened to a man. He was bitten by a poisonous snake that disappeared into the wilderness afterward. The man, an archaeologist, realized he needed to act fast. He grabbed his dagger and sucked the poison out of the bite wound, but it was only a temporary fix. His body felt weaker with each step, and he was miles from help. While searching for a solution, he found an old tomb nearby. Struggling with pain, he used alcohol to clean the wound, which only gave short-term relief. Soon, his body became paralyzed, and he lost consciousness, collapsing completely. After several days, the man woke up inside the tomb. He felt better, but knew he wasn't safe. Determined to get proper treatment, he headed toward the city. As he drove, everything seemed eerily silent. Once busy streets were empty, and there was an unsettling quiet. When he stopped by a supermarket, he saw the chaos, overturned shelves, and a dead man nearby with pale skin. Something terrible had clearly happened. Continuing his journey, he noticed abandoned vehicles and signs of a massive riot. As he approached a lamppost, he saw a government notice urging people to go to shelters. He drove home quickly, hoping to find his parents. But upon arriving and opening their bedroom door, he was met with a horrible smell and a tragic scene that broke him. Heartbroken, the man decided to leave for another city, hoping to find survivors. After a full day of driving, he reached the city only to find it deserted. Lights still glowed in the streets, but there was no one around. Wandering into a mall, he enjoyed the freedom of using anything he wanted, but quickly realized it wasn't the time to celebrate. He found a bar, had a drink, and tried to stay optimistic. Suddenly, he encountered a couple, 2 other survivors. They shared their story. When the infection first broke out, the government had rushed a vaccine to the public. However, the infection spread too quickly, and the vaccine failed. Millions were infected in just days, and the world was left in ruins. Despite their shared grief, the couple seemed content to live off the remaining resources. But the man, Jeff, knew this wouldn't last forever. Power and supplies would eventually run out. He suggested forming a survival plan, but the woman grew upset and stormed off. Her partner explained that she had lost all her family and was deeply depressed, barely holding on. She didn't want to think about the future. Jeff tried to persuade her again, but it only made things worse. She rejected the idea of leaving and seemed consumed by despair. As Jeff prepared to leave alone, he heard a gunshot. He turned back, frozen. The woman had taken her life. Overcome with sadness and frustration, Jeff drove off, his thoughts dark and hopeless. He even considered ending his own life in a car crash. But as he sped down the road, a dog appeared in his path. He stopped just in time. The dog stood there, calm and watchful. Jeff approached it, and the two formed an instant bond. He brought the dog into his car, and for the first time in a while, he felt hopeful. With the dog by his side, Jeff decided to focus on surviving. He found a library in the city and started gathering books on skills like farming and running a power plant. He believed that with enough knowledge, he could live a meaningful life even if he was the only person left. Over the next year, Jeff managed to build a routine. He grew his own food, roasted coffee beans, and even found ways to generate power. Life became a cycle of learning and surviving. But one day, as he stood on his balcony, he noticed smoke rising from a nearby house. Someone or something was out there. Jeff realized his journey was far from over. What would he find next? Would it be another survivor or something even more dangerous? Only time would tell.